Arman Tsarukyan talks beef with Dan Hooker, explaining why he chose to declare he's not looking for any trouble during fight week and that he'd shake hands with both Hooker and Topuria if they cross paths there. Arman has been going back and forth with both on social media, but the Hooker drama seemed to be deeper, with both of them promising to fight each other on site. Arman stated he'd make Dan answer for his comments in his direction whenever he got the opportunity to see the Kiwi face to face. When asked how he'd react to Arman trying to press him, Hooker said the fight would be cancelled because he'd begin swinging in that moment. Now, days before the fight, Tsarukyan changed his rhetoric on his personal disdain for the New Zealander, going back on his promise to press him when they run into one another at the Fighters Hotel. The #1 ranked lightweight contender entered fight week as a heavy favorite against Hooker, and the stakes are at an all-time high for him in this one, likely deciding his immediate fate in the context of the championship picture.
I just don't care about him, I was calling out him. He was in top 10 or something. I was calling out and he never responds me, and then I started talk shit and he started talk shit, and but now we are fighting. I have my goal that I want to achieve. It's a UFC title, and then can talk whatever he wants. He just make me laugh. So then he never talked personal to me. If I have something on my personal thing, I would take him out from his room and talk to him. Same Ilya. So it's just business, it's just fighting, but there is a levels of trash talk. If he touch me or my family or something with bad words, but about spoiled kid, about that I understand,
Michael Bisping and Paul Felder comment on Ilia Topuria trashing Islam Makhachev after the JDM fight, calling him a boring fighter with no emotion. The potential super fight between the two UFC stars who have now collectively held titles in 4 divisions is still alive and only getting more and more intriguing. We can expect this dynamic to continue if the Georgian successfully defends his lightweight title next. It is not out of the realm of possibility that we end up with one of the biggest fights in UFC history, maybe at that White House card that most fighters seem to be begging to be put on. For Topuria, it'd be an unprecedented opportunity to become the first 3-division champion ever. But many things have to go smoothly for both of them for this clash to materialize. Bisping and Felder love the slow buildup, especially Ilya's antic. As for the matchup itself, they see the size disadvantage on Ilya's side as a problem, especially given how big Makhachev looks at welterweight.
Ilya's to move to 70 is a massive jump for him, but if it's Islam, who even just said openly, he's not purposely gaining a ton of weight. He's a pretty big guy anyway. He's probably going to only put on 5 or 6 extra pounds from where he maybe would be. Maybe he's closer to 195, 200 pounds maybe.
People are going to say stuff like that because they want to fight each other. So he's trying to poke the bear and he's trying to get that matchup. Ilya says that Islam ran away to 170 because he was scared of Ilya and all the rest of it. Was he boring when he went out there and choked out Renato Moicano in the first round? Was he boring when he choked out Dustin Poirier in the 5th round and got a performance bonus, defended the title 4 times, by the way? Was he boring when he knocked out Alexander Volkanovski the 2nd time by a head kick in the very first round? No, none of those performances were boring. However, I will say, Saturday night, Jack versus Islam, it was a little bit uneventful, okay?
Kamaru Usman reacts to the possibility of challenging Islam Makhachev for the Dagestani's newly claimed welterweight title, revealing he's both excited and scared. If there's ever an occasion when a fighter who's lost 3 out of his last 4 fights gets a title shot while coming off just 1 win, it's this one. Despite the fact that he's past his prime and constantly battles lingering knee injuries, the former champion has still arguably the biggest name in the division, a good relationship with the brass, and apparently desire to try to reclaim his old title. The current landscape of the 170 weight class is such that an option of making him the opponent for Islam in his first title defense is not only the most sensible choice commercially, but it would also likely give us the most competitive matchup out of all other alternatives. Shavkat's comeback timeline after a surgery is uncertain, while Prates and Morales have massive disadvantages in the grappling department, same as Gary. Seems like a perfect scenario for Usman to get another shot at the belt, and he sure likes the way things are playing out.
Listen, Prates and Morales did a fantastic job, right? But if there's guys like myself and Islam in the division, you almost feel like if Prates was the champion, what happened to JDM last night is bound to happen. When I look at a guy like Islam, I don't really see holes like that. And that's something that scares me, that causes that heartbeat to go up. And that's where you see some of the most spectacular performance. Because the last time I felt that like that was Kobe Covington won. And that's when I was like, yo, you got a guy that can wrestle just as good as you, a guy that can grapple just as good, a guy that can maybe not strike it, but a guy that can strike just as well. You have a guy that's good in all these things. How do you get that victory? And that's where you live. That's where you get that, you know, your spirit just is in there.
Khamzat Chimaev reveals Sean Strickland pulled up on him with a gun following an argument in the gym. The two middleweights went through their friends to enemies phase before Chimaev even became the champion, and depending on which side you listen to, there are vastly different descriptions of the incident or multiple incidents that caused a conflict. Khamzat claims Strickland was acting friendly in the gym, but talking trash behind his back in interviews and social media, while Sean accused him of beating up weak sparring partners in the gym to put on a display of dominance, not listening to instructions, and not respecting the gym in general. In his latest media appearance on a Russian channel, Khamzat revealed what happened during the last day of his time in Strickland's gym. According to Chimaev, when he tried to press Strickland over some online comments about another fighter, the temperature was raised immediately, and though a fight didn't break out in that moment, Sean pulled up with a gun later, demonstrating his readiness to take it outside the gym.
Много и дагестанские, по-моему, ребята тоже были. Что-то там какой-то боец был, похож на чеченца, он говорит, кто-то что-то там написал. И вот такая ситуация получилась. Я сейчас прям сказать, что там было, даже и не помню. Ну, что-то чечен там, то все, я понял, что что-то плохое он говорит. Поэтому сразу наехал на него.
На всякий случай, да?
И потом пушкой ходил, там думал, что я на него нападу. И я не знаю, он последние 2 боя Стрикланду это Дюплесси проиграл. Еще близкие бои, я уверенно выиграл у этого парня. Придет время, если придет время, встретимся и поговорим. Может поговорим, может и не поговорим, сразу в руку зайдем. И